Ladies and gentlemen, or lately I have a better way. Dearest gentle viewer, welcome to our very first episode of Off the Record. Now, for these conversations, as you stay here with us, these are conversations that are taking you to a better journey for yourself. And I am more than excited to have you sit on this couch with me as we talk about everything, the good, the bad, or the glorious. And on our first episode, I am so excited for the guest that I have with me today, who has amazing stories. If you see us crying, please do understand. If you see us laugh, do understand. But above all, we do hope that you are coming with us on this journey. My name is Aimar, or Aimar Sarah, like my producer likes to call me. And today, my very first host, all the way from Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet the wonderful Tochi. Introduce yourself. First of all, your name is amazing, but I want to know more about your name. But for now, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure.
I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to speak to you.
It's my first time being on such a venture, and I'm looking forward to doing this more. My name is Praise Tochi. Fun fact, you said about the name Tochi. It is actually Nigerian.
It's Nigerian.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to come into how you're Kenyan, then you're Nigerian, literally. So what does Tochi actually mean?
Tochi means praise God.
Okay. So literally your praise God.
Yes. They doubled down on the praise. They were like,
Your parents were very intentional. Like, listen, we are praising God. I believe there's a story there.
maybe I'm the firstborn. Maybe they're like, hey, hallelujah. We gotta give praise.
I'm going to be calling you praise God moving forward.
No problem. No problem.
Right. So let's talk a little bit. Tochi is from Nigeria.
Yes.
But then I feel like your accent is so Kenyan. Or a little bit of us talking before here, actually, as you're Nigerian.
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually both.
Okay.
My father is Nigerian. My mom is Kenyan.
Oh, wow.
I was born in West Africa.
Wow.
So the first time I came to Kenya, that was when I was around 4 years old. Then, I stayed there. I had my formative years, and they do say that those are the most important years
of every child.
Yes. So I could credit the way I speak, maybe the way I write.
Yeah.
Some things here and there. Actually, no, the way I write. Shout out to Kampala Quality.
Kampala also came into the picture a little bit there.
Yeah, later in still in primary years. But that's how the whole mix has come through. So my mom is Kenyan, my dad is Nigerian.
You're raised in West Africa, then moved to Kenya.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Uganda?
We ended up in Uganda at some point in time, like when my dad had some job opportunity. So that kind of just brought the whole family this side. My family just has my sister and I, so we are relatively small.
Oh, wow. So you come from a very...
very close-knit family. We just 1, 2, 3, 4. That's us. Yeah. And I cannot complain. I mean, my sister is my everything. We came here at a young age, and we did have some culture shocks, if I may say. But and in my younger years, maybe I was not the biggest fan of Uganda at large, but I do have some reasons here and there, as a child.
Yeah.
But now in my adult years, I'm like, wow, there's no better place to be. There's no
East
better
or West
place.
Uganda is the best.
Yeah, kind of. They call it the Pearl of Africa.
We are the Pearl of Africa. We are the Pearl of Africa. Wow, Tochi. Or as I said, I'm going to change your name to Praise the God. I love that. Praise God. I love that so much. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So, you're raising, first of all, rather you're moving from one place to another, your childhood, that alone shows there's quite a lot of discovery that you had as a child in the first place, but also there's quite a lot of, you know, stories that have happened in between and there. And remember when I reached out and I'm like, hey, what do you feel more comfortable talking about? You sent me very interesting, you know, rather interesting topics, and one of them was growth through loneliness and independence. Let's start from there. When I sent you that question and you said growth through loneliness and independence, I'm very certain that those two words, first of all, we have the loneliness, and then we have, actually there are three. We have the loneliness, we have the growth, and then we have the independency. So to what point in your life did what point in your life that sparked these three different aspects of your life as an adult? So let's start with the loneliness part. What do you know about that? Because I feel like you've had quite a relatively small family, which the picture I have in my head is, you know, you're connected, you're together as a family. And I'm thinking, at what point did she get lonely? I mean, was mom not always there? Was that, or let's start with that a little bit part of your life, the loneliness. When did it start coming in for you?
Um, First of all, I'd like to start off with saying that I'd like to believe that I'm a extrovert. You know, I'm a people person.
Yes, you are.
I hate to admit it. I'm like, no.
And I met you like for the first time, I'm like, I like her. Yes,
Thank
you are.
you. You know, sometimes I'm like, no, I'm gonna be quiet and mysterious. But I just find myself, you know, wanting to be amongst people,
Yeah.
wanting to share, wanting to be shared with. I always want to learn something new.
Yeah.
So that means that I do like being out. I like having friends, you know, and the loneliness comes in when someone with my personality type does not
Show up.
yes does
Yeah.
not
It's not in the
necessarily
room.
yes
Yeah.
you don't get, the universe does not give you the stereotypical life that you
Yeah.
want to have.
Yeah.
Socials, you're all over socials, you know,
Yeah.
there's this event here, you're there. There's this happening on social media, these challenges, you're there, you know. But like, it just so happened that much as I like people, I don't want to say people don't like me, but
Yeah.
it's like the universe is protecting me. And then in my later years, I'm understanding that much as I have a lot of love to give, it's just not meant for the whole world at the end of the day. So
absolutely.
I can say that the loneliness did start at a young years, you know, teenage years.
Yeah.
I went through international school. There's a lot of should I say politics that goes on, you know, in the
Yeah.
kind of dynamics that go on in such schools.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much going on. There's going to be the real internationals. Let me not say, you know, the real internationals, them biracial,
Yeah.
whatever's.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's the U's, and then there's
That are not so international.
yeah, there's, you know, there's all levels of people.
Yeah.
And I could say that, not to brag or anything, but I feel like I was amongst cool kids for many reasons. I was
You're giving that vibe. You're giving the vibe of I am a cool kid.
yeah,
Like, relax.
you know, I am here and there, you know, flips my hair.
You have beautiful hair. Speaking of hair, your hair is just amazing.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, but amongst them, and the reasons as to why I think I belonged at that time
Yeah.
were simple things. You know, in high school, you guys are kids. It doesn't take a lot to wow children. You know, it's oh, that's the dancer of the school. Oh, that's the singer of the school. Oh, that guy is the this or that. You know, it's not really anything substantial per se. It's only when now, and especially now in high school, if people are going through the whole I want to find a phrase to mean the friendship, friendships that are not so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I did not realize that I was participating in a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretentious friendships that go on, and unfortunately they do start at that age gap. I feel like there's a certain age where kids are so innocent.
Absolutely.
When they're friends, they really are friends. They
are
don't know
friends.
about
Yeah,
anything going on in the life.
It's pure friendship. It's waking
Pure.
up and finding each other at school, and it's so
Indeed.
exciting that we're going to sit together.
Why do you
and
like
share
your friend?
breakfast.
My friend likes the color yellow, like me. Simple things. But adults, we are friends for so many certain reasons. My sister likes to coin it social climbing. She tells me, this year I'm gonna try this thing because I've tried this. Real friendships, we are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the era we live in right now. So I do know that I started feeling loneliness at such a young age, and so many people do start feeling it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so many reasons as to why we are in such an era. You could look at reasons like how materialistic people have become.
Yeah.
I could feel like that's one of the reasons as to why some of my friendships didn't move on.
So when you say you started feeling loneliness at a young age, I want to be able to my mind to go to that particular point where it hit you in your life that it feels so lonely. What is that more like occasion that was happening around your life that brought inside you the realization of the loneliness? Was it at a certain point you are now you're not a child anymore, and it's starting to hit you that friendships as an adult, it's not as innocent as it was for a child, and now your mind is in between how can I find the friendships I had as a child at my adulthood age? So did you struggle with friendships to be particular, or was it a point in life where sister is no longer constantly around me, mom is no longer constantly around me, I am now an adult and I need to figure out how to be relatable to an audience or a society that feels so excited every morning, and yet for me my day's a bit slow. Why are we rushing? Can we just enjoy the moment?
Indeed.
That's the part I want to pick from you.
I'd like to believe that I am still looking for my tribe.
Wow.
Let me not say that I'm struggling in friendship. Let me not use those words.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm struggling because I've reached a stage of awareness. I can meet someone and know that I'm grown enough now to tell some character traits in people and just know that this is not my bird of my feather.
Yeah.
This is a friend, but this might not be a friend for life. This is just a seasonal friendship. And I do believe that people always come in and go, for reasons, so it's for you to sit down and analyze, okay, why did I meet that person? Absolutely. How did I meet them?
Oh my God, yeah.
What did I learn from that?
Yeah.
And now, yes, I did have a time where, it dawned on me, I am an adult. If I don't have my family around, I need to have some friends, but here you are, you're at a phase where friendship is still something. It's still iffy, when you're like teens to early 20s, friendship can still kind of be meaningless. Life has not gotten real yet. You can you can have friends that are just party people. My friends too. Hey, every weekend, where are you? What's going on? What's the plan?
In Uganda we say Oriwa.
What's the plan? But eventually you realize I can't have that. I can't just have a crowd of that kind of people.
Yeah, no.
When I've moved houses like crazy, moving houses is hectic, and imagine doing it alone.
Oh my God. When you say moving houses, that's like shifting from one place to another.
Yes.
And you're just by
your
yourself.
furniture, everything.
Oh my goodness.
And you're alone,
You're the one packing and packing. Like, no, I think I relate to what you're saying. Because I think recently I was having a conversation with my friends, and we're talking about the dynamics of friendship as adults, yeah? And something that I find interesting about adulthood friendships as we grow is that whether we want it or not, things are going to change. Yeah. But also someone told me something that captured my mind up to now as far as friendships are concerned. They said we need to be able to categorize our friendships.
Indeed.
And this came from when I asked them, do you have a best friend? And they said, no, I do not understand the concept of best friend, because then that means that you have to look within your friends and see which one deserves that title. But they told me, I know who my family is, and for them they're like, family is not entirely blood related. It's someone that we have become so close that I would just call them and say, hey, I'm taking a flight, but I've left my kids at home. Could you please help me stay around with them? That is family. That is outside friendship. And then they said, I also know who my colleagues are, so I will address them as that. My acquaintances, I'm going to address them as that. And they said, when we understand the concept of categorizing friendships, then it is going to be easier for us to know who do we need at a particular moment of time. Because I was one of those people who felt like, why is it just so hard to make friends? Why is it just so hard to just have one particular friend? I don't even need many people, But then we realize that when we grow, there are demands that come in life. There are demands that come. But also our likings are changing. Our jobs are changing. Our relationships in the context of romantic relationships are changing. Those have their own demands. But do you think actually that why as adults we feel like adulthood is lonely in the first place? Is it because you believe that in a way we have contributed to that loneliness? Because I just feel like we are a generation that is safeguarding ourselves so much. Like, we're so afraid to open up, but then in that small corner we keep ourselves in, you end up realizing, like, I need to shift, but there's actually nobody to help me shift.
Isolated yourself completely.
Yeah. So do you think, in a way, we have contributed to adulthood friendship feeling hard, but also we are the reason why we feel lonely?
Yes. You've given great reasons there, actually. I do believe that people have that habit of safeguarding. We are in a time where everyone is like, no, I don't. Exactly what I was saying earlier about them being mysterious.
Yeah.
You don't want.
I want to be
You don't want people knowing your business.
I tried being mysterious, but it almost broke me because I am not a mysterious person.
You almost exploded.
I almost exploded. No, for real though, like, I almost exploded because I would admire people that just go off. Maybe they're offline for like a whole month, and then when we see them again, they're probably married, or they bought a car, or there's a new career booming. Yet for me, when I'm going through it all, people, at least my close people, will know, So I was like, I just can't do the things of being mysterious. Like, I'm bubbly, I'm lively, I'm a people person, I hug people and all those things. So when you talked about those things of, I tried being mysterious, but it hit me.
It's not for
That's
everyone.
Not me. It's not for me. I am loud.
You just move to the side and continue being your loud self.
Yeah.
I don't know, but right now, and we are in such a time where like being nonchalant is the thing, you know, being mysterious, being nonchalant, everything negative, that's the thing to be right now, you know.
Sad.
So you find people who have this extroverted personality almost demonized. They call us cringe. That's the word used. Cringe. Oh, and I say I'm cringe, but I'm free.
I like that.
I'm cringe, but I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do. Yes.
I don't always have to look at my shoulder and wonder who wants to shoot me, or
exactly
who wants, like, we're so upguarded.
Who's looking at me with a sneer, like not approving. And that's one of the things I felt that, you know, started making me slowly eliminate myself from certain friendships, because I realized that anytime I'm around certain people, I feel like I'm too much. They're making you feel like you're being too loud, you're being too extra, because they're all trying to like blend in with the background. They're all trying to be like gray figures. But there you are with all your color, with all your sunshine, with all your light. You're blinding people, you know. And I started to realize that the problem is not me. The problem isn't me. And this does not come from a narcissistic point of view. I will acknowledge when I am the problem, you know, but me just being a loud person when I am, or, you know, just being boisterous in how you speak, how you dress,
confidence,
how you express yourself. And I just realized that if I'm amongst people who make me feel the urge to want to shrink myself, then that's just not the crowd to be. And I would rather be alone. You see, now, during the topic of that loneliness, I could be around such people. You're around people, but you're lonely. There's a difference between being alone and
being
lonely.
Wow.
So there you are in a crowd full of friends, but there's a lack of belonging. You know, there's something that's just telling you you don't belong here.
So I think that is now what eventually drives us to the point of growth in the loneliness, the growth that comes in. And now for me, I'm just gonna bring in a part of my life where I remember that particular season, where I remember myself being in that particular season. I do believe that in every stage of growth, and growth, we're talking about career, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about education, any aspect of your life, there is a time as a person that you just need to actually exclude yourself and find your identity, because the most of the time you've probably spent it trying to look for a belonging, but do you actually know where you're supposed to belong? Now, for me, the season of growing in the loneliness happened in the time where life in itself was busy. I've just started a new job. I mean, a professional job. School is happening. By then, I'm also like transitioning into my faith journey, because there's a part of my life where you not tell me anything about God. But during that moment, I think it's the time I felt the most lonely, because then it became hard for me to know who in my contact list do I actually call. The silence in my head is too loud. Imagine silence being loud. But then you have a personality that, again, you've been around people that tell you consistently that you're too loud, you're too much, you know. And now you're starting to think, I'm the problem, so I need to tone down. And that's the part where earlier I mentioned and said there's a part in my life where I tried learning to be the quiet and the mysterious, and just reach in a place and sit and just be quiet as people talk. But that's not me. Indeed. I reach in a place and I'm giving people hugs. But then I noticed that it was time for me to actually find my identity. And in that moment of loneliness, but also growth happening at the same time, we don't speak a lot about how quiet that moment can be, how sad that moment can be, and even how more lonelier that moment can be. Because again, you have taken time away because you want to find you You want to know your identity. You want to know, where do I belong in this whole society that is too much? I would say that, when I'm too loud, when I'm being myself, which is loud and bubbly and friendly and people person, the people who are uncomfortable with that. But then when I try to be quiet, I am uncomfortable with that. So how do I find my belonging? And then there's that time we take off. Now, like I was saying, what we don't talk about a lot is the waking up and your phone is not buzzing. Nobody really wants to know if you're alive or dead. But it's not their fault. Because remember, in the beginning, you cut them off. So you're struggling with, do I go back outside and open myself up and open this door wide and let myself go free? When I'm hurt, I'm hurt. When I'm broken, I come back, I cry, I go back. Or do I just keep my small shelter because the world is too much? So how do you think is the best way to navigate that moment of isolation? Because again, I do actually believe in every adult life, isolation moment is important. Discovering your identity is important. Knowing where you belong in the society is very important. But while you're there in the moment of self-discovery, that loneliness, how best do you think one can actually navigate it without losing themselves?
You're you're so right, because everyone has to go through a time to be alone.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you know. And that time is such a groundbreaking time, because
Absolutely.
the silence builds a lot of character.
Yeah.
You get to know who are your real people. You start to understand yourself for who you really are. I went through that silence time. That time of when you said that your phone doesn't buzz.
Nothing. Like power can go off, your phone can be off, and you're not even thinking. Some might try to look for me, and my phone is off.
Indeed. Actually, for me, mine was so crazy, because at some point in time, I was mostly like an online student. So I didn't even have physical interaction with people. I was living alone. I absolutely would have my phone just there. No action from Monday to Monday to Monday to Monday. That's like how a whole month, 2 months, 3 months would go. No action whatsoever. It's just, thank heavens that I have my beads, my crafts, things that I do that would keep me busy, and I would have a client or so that would help me have an active life somewhere. But the silence was a lot, and there would be times that I can admit it would be very depressing. There you are, no one is calling you. You go online, Snapchat, guys are living it up.
And you're like, the world is moving on.
And you see videos, you're like, these are my friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys, you're my friends. How come none of you guys invited me? All of you guys have your contact lists and whatnot, this and that. And I always think to myself, I have to reflect, like, did I really cut people off, or like, am I the one who was cut?
The problem.
Like, every now and then I still reflect upon it, and
there's that part that you said of, you go online and your friends, I'm gonna put them in quotes, they're on Snapchat, they're in a restaurant somewhere having drinks, or they're on a road trip, but for the last week none of them has actually called you, and you're like, wait, people are having life without me. Like, it is so crazy that it hits you and you're like, oh, so the world actually doesn't rotate around me.
well,
What does that mean for you? Because among many things I do therapy, yeah. And one of the things that I feel as a generation we are struggling with is, we think isolation can mean one of these things. One, nobody loves me, nobody needs me. Even if I died, nobody cares. Because how come I have been offline for 2 or 3 days and nobody's actually calling to check why am I offline? Especially if I'm a very online person. Yeah. So with that, we conclude it with, I have fake friends. Do you get that? Because then again, from the beginning, isolation has not been entirely positioned that you must go through a moment of isolation as an adult. When you're transitioning from one age group to another age group, or whatever transformation is happening, it's important that you go into isolation. Now, there's also a part where, like I said earlier, you consciously or subconsciously actually told people, leave me alone. And people have decided to leave you alone. Hence your friends doing drinks and road trips and relationships are happening, and you're in your house every day, whether phone is on or off, nothing is actually happening. So we go back to thinking fake friends. But then the question that I normally ask the people is, do you think you played a part in people not calling you or texting you or checking in on you? Do you think you played a part when you went on Snapchat and your friends were having life without you in it?
At that time,
Yeah.
the part I played was just being me, myself.
Yeah.
I was not in an era of, now I want to soul search, finding myself. I was not at
You were
that
not
stage
at
at that
stage, yeah.
time.
Okay.
At that time, you're still youthful and vibrant. Hey, you're not caring about who am I going to be in the next 5 years or what am I going to be doing. You're not necessarily at that stage.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand. But later on, for me, what was happening in my friendship groups was the dynamics was just basically surrounding materialism. Yeah, it was all about, who has this, who's going to these kind of places,
Yeah.
who studied where, that kind of.
Oh, the teenage kind of friendships.
Oh yes, and then and they kind of get worse.
Yeah.
If those dynamics continue into your later.
Life,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, they do get worse now. Because, and I totally understand why as adults we have so much division, because of how much we see each other as different, basing on different things. Classes, I went to an Ivy League college. Me, I'm driving this. For me, I live in the ghetto. Like,
Yeah.
you just
so
all
what I'm
that.
picking is one of the things that have destroyed or made adulthood friendship quite hard is classism.
Indeed, I do believe. Now, for example, yeah, if you have a let me not call broke. We also love throwing that word around, and it's actually ugly. Imagine calling someone you're so broke. Like,
Well,
it's not right.
I can't relate. I'm a child of God. I can't relate to that statement.
We do not.
Yeah.
We do not claim such words. But you're with someone who's financially underprivileged.
Yeah.
And you want to meet, you want to have plot or something like that, and
But they can't afford it.
they cannot afford that Serena, Sheraton, or even Cafe Javas, a 35K meal. They probably can't. Why don't you use some common sense, find some common ground. So you know what, let's go to Bahai, let's bring snacks, and we have a good time.
That has now like totally led us into a different conversation altogether. Classism and friendships. Now, I'm pausing for a moment of silence there because my mind is going into places like, how many times have we actually misjudged our friends because we think they don't want to show up, or because we think they don't rate us like that. But financially speaking, if all your activities include money, and I do not have that constant money, I'll just stay home. And then you're gonna sit and say, every time I invite this person, they never come.
Yeah.
Now, for me, what I will define by that is that you have then not taken time to know who your friend is. You have not taken time to know who your friend is. Because that, for me, this is how I do my friendships. And especially since from the moment I learned about the importance of categorizing those relations, yeah, and also knowing, first of all, that the hardest acceptance that personally I had to go through with was we grow, and also we outgrow friendships. And it is okay to outgrow friendships, because there's a certain stage in my life where I've reached, and I completely feel like we do not have a conversation that can make us relate. Now, when that happens, we will struggle with letting go. Hence, finding those friendships where it feels like it's one-sided. You're always the one calling to check in. You're the one making the plots, because also there is me not having the money, but do I make an effort? Do I probably say, I can't come to CJ's, but I'm happy to cook. Can you come at my place? You know? So, classism and friendship, it is a whole conversation on its own.
Yes.
So then, is it right for people to say, because there's this there's this saying that goes around and says, date people within your class or within your means. Do you think that should apply to friendships? Have friendships with people that can afford, like, you need to afford each other.
Okay, fine. You're so right.
Yeah.
Now, date people within your class, within your... I sometimes buy into that.
Yeah.
I sometimes buy into that mentality, because when it comes to relationships, and I'm talking, romantic, not just platonic.
Yeah.
If I feel like, yes, it actually matters a lot, because so many issues come in the fact that people are dating people who are not in their tax bracket, people who are not in their intellectual bracket, who are not in their spiritual bracket. It does apply also in friendships, but I feel to a less critical manner, especially when it comes to the finances. When it comes to the finances in a relationship that's romantic, for example, and I'm talking big gaps, because this also applies to friendships.
Yeah.
You cannot be like a pauper and you expect to be friends with a tycoon. That tycoon who maybe is known all over Uganda and whatnot, they can't just go and chill at Bahai. They can't, because of how high they are in life, they can't just be at certain places. And now, because you and how low you are in life, you can't meet them.
Absolutely.
Where are you ever going to meet this person to interact, to even become friends in the first place? And if you ever have the chance to, now how will you continue?
Absolutely. Wow. Dearest gentle viewers, the conversation here is getting even more and more interesting. So we're going to come back shortly, and do not move.
Ever dreamt of a spa experience so incredible it completely transforms you? This, my friends, is the Aimar Pasha in Kampala. This isn't just any hotel. It's one of Kampala's oldest boutique gems, and they've absolutely nailed in keeping its glory alive. And the hospitality, unmatched. I landed in Kampala at the ungodly hour of 2 a.m., but Aimar Pasha had the pickup sorted, followed by the smoothest check-in in their presidential suite. But let's talk about the spa. Oh my goodness. I indulged in a Turkish body scrub and a massage, and seriously, the glow up was so conspicuous. And the best part, the food. Absolutely divine, with portions so generous they'll have you ready for a nap. Chef Alvaro and his team don't just cook, they craft hearty soulful meals.
Dearest gentle viewer, you guys, please allow me. I love that. If you're Bridgerton fan, then you get what I'm saying. But welcome back from that short break. Now, Tochi, in a minute or two, what is your parting shot about loneliness that comes in isolation, finding yourself, finding your tribe, like you mentioned, and the growth that one should be comfortable or okay with?
So when it comes to friendships, I think that one has to have firm grounding in themselves first. You truly need to know who you are and just be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
That way you will not be in any kind of friendship for validation. You'll not be looking for exterior validation. I tell people that I'm confident because I know I have my own interior validation.
Yes.
There's things I do, I clap for myself. I say, well done. You know,
Absolutely.
you're all that because you are who you are. You are who you think you are.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have that firmness, that means that you are even able to have friendships and people who will appreciate you for who you are. You're not going to be finding yourself in any form of fake friendship. You're not going to find yourself in any crowd, any place that you're not wanted.
That does not define you.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, they say, you know, the people, the circle, the society around you, the community around you is what people are going to start with to define who you are.
Indeed. They say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Who you are.
They
Absolutely.
do that.
Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure having you here, and I look forward to having more conversations with you. Dearest gentle viewer, just like you've had, I think it is less about the other person, but you as an individual. The friendships that come around you should be the ones that you allow, should be the ones that share more or less the same values with you. And I also feel like as adults, we need to accept that growth is going to happen. We need to accept that different people are going through different things. So maybe before you actually conclude and say, my friends are fake, who are you? How do you show up for your friends? Before you say, I'm going through a very lonely stage in life, I'm going through a very lonely phase in life, and nobody is checking in on me, have you left the door open for people to actually come in and check on you? Because at the end of the day, we are adults, and I usually tell people, don't make it hard to be loved. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. We don't have to struggle to love you. Make loving you so easy. Make being your friend so easy. And of course, do not allow friendships that drain your energy. Friendships that do not speak the same values as you. Because, for instance, you cannot be the person you're not a bar person. You don't drink. But 70% of your friends are always in the bar. So, you're going to misunderstand each other. I do hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please catch us on Captain Creative on YouTube. And of course, I'll be sharing this episode on my YouTube channel at Transform with Sarah. I look forward to sitting down here with you again. But before I go, I want to let you know that our beautiful home today is nowhere else other than the Aimar Pasha Hotel and Spa located in Nakasero on Akibiwa Road. Now, Aimar Pasha has spa, Aimar Pasha has restaurant, Aimar Pasha has rooms, and you guys, sleeping in the hotel is not for the rich. It is okay to first give your bed a break. I look forward to seeing you again, and next time, spread love, spread kindness, but above all, like Tochi said, be your own shining, be loud, be bold, and above all, celebrate you. I love you.
Ciao.
Ciao.